Welcome to the MBC5 Academic Challenge, celebrating education in our region, where local high schools compete to win thousands of dollars in scholarship money. Over the years, NBC5 and our sponsors have awarded over $180,000 to area high school students to further their education. The MBC5 Academic Challenge is brought to you by McDonald's, I'm loving it, by Avista Utilities, and by U.S. Bank, all of us serving you. And now, here's the host of the MBC5 Academic Challenge, NBC5 News meteorologist Jeff Heaton.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to NBC5's Academic Challenge. We've got two tough teams fighting it out for tonight. We have North Medford versus Phoenix. Now, before we go through the rules of the show, let's introduce the stars of the show. We'll start with North Medford and a senior, Glenn Caphammer. Next to Glenn, a junior, Rachel Warren. Next to Rachel, a junior, Austin Kleinberg. And next to Austin, a junior, Zach Ward. And the coach for North Medford, the coaches I should say, Kathleen Thomas and Rebecca Becker. And now for Phoenix, we start with a junior, Grace Prechtel. Next to Grace, a senior, Lucia Hidella. Next to Lucia, a senior, Killian Omatoy. And next to Killian, a junior, Logan Thurkill. And the coach for Phoenix, John Thiering. Here's how we play the first round anyway. I'll ask questions to both teams worth 10 points if answered correctly. 5 seconds to respond after I finish reading the questions. 15 seconds on some math questions. Those will be announced in advance. And keep in mind the judge's decision is final even if the outcome of the game is affected. So let us begin. Both teams, this is in geography. Located on the Elbe River, this city has long been Germany's greatest harbor city. The Altstadt forms its center, and it is the second largest city in Germany. Name this northern German city, birthplace of Brahms and Mendelssohn. Yes, Glenn?
What is Dresden?
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Phoenix. Located on the Elbe River, this city has long been Germany's greatest harbor city. The Altstadt forms its center, and it is the second largest city in Germany. Name this northern German city, birthplace of Brahms and Mendelssohn. Yes, Lucia.
Berlin.
Hamburg is the correct answer. Next question is a science question, both teams. What scientist said, "Luck favors the prepared mind"? He's most remembered for inventing a method to stop milk and wine from causing sickness. Yes, Zach.
Louis Pasteur.
That is correct. Next question is a literature question. This is an internationally best-selling American novelist and screenwriter. He has 16 published novels with themes that include cancer, death, and love. 2 of his novels are Message in a Bottle and A Walk to Remember. Who is this? Nicholas Sparks. Next question is a geography question, both teams. In what state would you find Syracuse University? Lucia.
Minnesota.
Incorrect. Repeat the entire question for North Medford. In what state would you find Syracuse University? Yes, Austin.
New York.
New York is correct. Next question, odds and ends. Prunes are really just dried out what? Zach?
Plums.
Plums is correct. Next question is a geography question. The Rhone, France's major river, empties into what sea? Austin.
The Mediterranean.
That is correct. Next question, an English question. A word whose letters can be rearranged to form an entirely different word is known as what? Zach.
Anagram.
Anagram is correct. Next question is a literature question. What character in Grimm's fairy tale is destroyed after his name is mentioned? Zach.
Rumpelstiltskin.
That is correct. Next question, word meanings. The word I'm looking for has 12 letters and is defined as a traditional English term for a political community founded for the common good. Historically, it has sometimes been synonymous with republic. What word is this? Lucia.
Democracy.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for North Medford. The word I'm looking for has 12 letters and is defined as a traditional English term for a political community founded for the common good. Historically, it has sometimes been synonymous with republic. What word is this? We were looking for Commonwealth. Toss-up question now, literature question, both teams. This novel centers on the life and adventures of the title character, a young man who... Logan?
Huckleberry Finn.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for North Medford. This novel centers on the life and adventures of the title character, a young man who must support his mother and sister after his father dies. His uncle Ralph, who thinks he will never amount to anything, plays the role of an antagonist. What Dickens novel is this? Nicholas Nickleby is what we're looking for. Next toss-up, history question, both teams. In 1984, the Soviets announced they would boycott the Olympics that were held in what U.S. city? Zach?
Salt Lake City.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Phoenix. In 1984, the Soviets announced that they would boycott the Olympics that were held in what U.S. city? Los Angeles. Helps a lot more if you were alive back then. Toss-up question, both teams, odds and ends. In 1999, Nancy Ruth Mace became the first female graduate of this military academy in Charleston, South Carolina. What is the name of this academy? Zach?
West Point.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Phoenix. In 1999, Nancy Ruth Mace became the first female graduate of this military academy in Charleston, South Carolina. What is the name of this academy? It's called the Citadel. Oh boy, a math question. You have 15 seconds to answer this math question. Listen carefully. It's not easy. Give me the square root of 361. Austin.
19.
19 is correct. Toss-up question, both teams. This is a geography question. What is the largest country in South America? Austin.
Brazil.
Brazil is correct. That was a speed contest. All right, toss-up question, both teams. This is a history question. The fourth president of the United States, serving from 1809 to 1817, who was he?
Was it Madison?
Grace?
Madison?
That is correct. Toss-up question, both teams, business. An economic or political condition in which power is concentrated in two persons or groups. Killian.
Binomial.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for North Medford. An economic or political condition in which power is concentrated in two persons or groups is called what? Austin.
Bipartisan.
Duopoly is what we were looking for. Next toss-up question is a history question, both teams. Al Gore had been a U.S. Senator from what state? Zach.
California.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Phoenix. Al Gore had been a U.S. Senator from what state? Killian.
Oregon.
Tennessee. Next toss-up question, both teams, a math question. 15 seconds to respond to this. Give me the total of the following. 18.9 plus 18.7 plus 4.4. Glenn.
41.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Phoenix. Give me the total of the following. 18.9 plus 18.7 plus 4.4.
Logan. 44.
42 is the correct answer. Toss-up question, both teams. This is a history question. Who was the first Republican president of the United States? He was elected in... Logan.
Jefferson.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for North Medford. Who was the first Republican president of the United States? He was elected in 1860. Austin.
Abe Lincoln.
That's correct. Next toss-up, both teams, government. On November 3rd and 4th, 2011, the 6th G20 summit took place to discuss financial markets and the world economy. In what country was it held? Lucia.
China.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for North Medford. On November 3rd and 4th, 2011, the 6th G20 summit took place to discuss financial markets and the world economy. In what country was it held, Zach?
France.
France is correct. Next toss-up, a history question, both teams. What woman is widely credited with making the first American flag? Killian. Repeat the question for North Medford. What woman is widely credited with making the first American flag, Zach?
Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross is correct. Toss-up question, both teams. This is a literature question. He recently released a novel titled Against All Enemies, which he wrote with Peter Tellep. But he's best known for Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. Who is this? Zach.
Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy is correct. And that's round one. We'll come back with round two right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Well, here's the score at the end of round one. We have North Medford at 120 and Phoenix at 10. And now we begin round two. Here's how we play it. I'll still ask those toss-up questions to both teams, worth 10 points if answered correctly. 5 seconds to respond after I finish reading the question. 15 seconds on some math questions, which I announce in advance. But here's what's different. When a team answers a toss-up question correctly, this time they receive a 10-point bonus question exclusively. So let us begin. We begin with a toss-up now, and this is for both teams, a geography question. Out of the following 4 countries, which country is the most northerly? Switzerland, Spain, Bulgaria, or Albania? Killian.
Switzerland.
That is correct. Bonus question just for Phoenix, a history question. While Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were making history on the moon's surface, the pilot of Apollo 11 command module was orbiting the moon. Who was that pilot? You don't have to buzz in. Captain?
Buzz Lightyear.
Michael Collins. Yeah, right, consensus is what it is. Toss-up question, both teams, languages. This was a form of picture writing and communication developed by Lucia.
Hieroglyphics.
That's what we were looking for. Bonus question just for Phoenix. This is a literature question. This Shakespearean play looks at the relationship between sleep and death. One line from the play is, fair is foul, and foul is fair. What play is this? Captain?
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Macbeth is what we're looking for. Toss-up question, both teams back in it. History. I need the date, including the year, that President Roosevelt was referring to when he said it was a date that would live in infamy. Glenn.
November 11th, 1918.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Phoenix. I need the date, including the year, that President Roosevelt was referring to when he said it was a date that would live in infamy. Wrong Roosevelt. December 7th, 1941. FDR. Toss-up question, both teams. Science. What is the lightest and most abundant chemical element consisting roughly of 75% of the universe's chemical? Is Killian.
Nitrogen.
I didn't hear that. What?
Nitrogen.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for North Medford. What is the lightest and most abundant chemical element constituting roughly 75% of the universe's chemical element mass? Zach.
Hydrogen.
That is correct. Times that full question really helps. Okay, a bonus question just for history. This person is a former Soviet statesman, having served as General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union from 1985 until 1991, and as the last head of state of the USSR, serving from 1988 until its dissolution in 1991. Who is this?
Gorbachev.
That's correct. Toss-up question now. Both teams, history. This was an ancient Greek physician of the age of Pericles and is considered one of the most outstanding figures in the history of medicine. He is referred to as the father of Western... Zach?
Hippocrates.
That's who we're looking for. Bonus question just for North Medford. This is a geography question. This is a country in Northern Europe, the biggest of the 3 Baltic states. It is situated along the southeastern shore of the Baltic Sea. It shares borders with Latvia to the north, Belarus to the east and south, and Poland to the south. What country is this?
That's really small. It is. Yeah. Well, what else? What?
Captain?
Lithuania.
Lithuania is correct. Toss-up question, both teams, Oregon government. Who's the current Oregon State Treasurer? Threw you off when I tried to say treasurer, right? Ted Wheeler. Toss-up question, both teams, word meanings. This is a 9-letter word beginning with C, meaning a difficult question or riddle, especially, Logan.
Conundrum.
Conundrum is correct. Bonus question just for Phoenix. This is a history question. What was the 11th century Spanish military leader Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar better known as?
El Cid.
That's correct. Considered I slaughtered the Spanish, you did a great job there. Toss-up question, both teams, geography. This river is one of the world's greatest. Its wide valley stretches across northern India and Bangladesh from the Himalayas to the, Austin?
The Ganges.
Ganges is correct. Bonus question just for North Medford. This is a history question. Name the 4 U.S. presidents that were assassinated while in office.
Garfield, Lincoln, McKinley, and Kennedy.
Correct. That's what teams are for. Toss-up question, both teams, history. A Russian monk of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, before and during World War I, Lucia.
Rasputin.
That's correct. Bonus question just for Phoenix, geography. This is a country situated on the Mediterranean coast of North Africa. It is the northernmost African country and the smallest of the nations situated along the Atlas Mountain Range. It is bordered by Algeria and Libya. What country is this?
Morocco.
Tunisia. Toss-up question now, both teams, explorers. In 1492, Spain sent Christopher Columbus sailing westward to find India. Soon afterward, King Manuel I of Portugal selected this person to head a new expedition charged with sailing around the Cape eastward onto India. Who did King Manuel send? Vasco da Gama. Toss-up question now, literature question. Irish-born British playwright, a founder of the Fabian Society. He wrote plays of iconoclastic social criticism, including Arms and the Man, Pygmalion, and St. Joan. He won the 1925 Nobel Prize for Literature. Who was this? George Bernard Shaw. Toss-up, Roman mythology. In Roman mythology, the god of gates and doorways, depicted with 2 faces facing in opposite directions. Who was this? Glenn.
Janus.
That is correct. Bonus question just for North Medford, literature. A Russian-born American scientist and prolific writer whose works include popular explanations of scientific principles and volumes of science fiction, including the Foundation Trilogy. Who was this?
Asimov. Okay. Asimov.
That is correct. Toss-up question now, both teams, current events. Runner Jeffrey Mutai recently won the New York City Marathon. What country is Mutai from? Killian.
Thailand.
Incorrect. Repeat the entire question for North Medford. Runner Jeffrey Mutai recently won the New York City Marathon. What country is Mutai from? If all else fails, always guess Kenya. It's Kenya. That's it. We'll come back and tally the score right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Well, here's the tally at the end of the game. We have North Medford 200 and Phoenix at 60. It's a rough first round, but Phoenix, you will be back. This is a double elimination. Get a little warmed up for it now. I think you'll be having a much better time for it next time. North Medford, we have a junior captain, Austin Kleinberg. Tell me, Austin, how did you get selected captain?
I did well in tryouts.
Oh, you did well in tryouts, huh?
Yeah.
Any particular subject that you really think, okay, this one's mine?
Geography.
Geography,
Yeah.
I get it. Any question where you let your teammates take over?
Literature.
Literature. I understand that perfectly. You've seen me try to read some of these lines, too. Next week, we have South Medford versus Brookings Harbor. Should be a good game. Stick around, or have a good evening.